Welcome to the second edition this season of Inside EKU Sports. Mark Elder joins us to talk EKU football. Eastern opening the season against Western in Bowling Green on Saturday, 31-17 Hilltoppers. You were down 17-0 at halftime, really gutty effort. Team came back, two nice scoring drives in the second half, made it a real game.
Yeah, obviously we were disappointed in the outcome. We went with the intention and the belief that we're going to win the game. So we were disappointed that we didn't do that. Obviously in the first half we did some good things but had some self-inflicted wounds that put us behind. I mean, we were down 17-0, as you just said, and the most disappointing part of that game is we felt like we competed with them. We went toe-to-toe with them. There was several mistakes that we made internally that weren't even forced mistakes necessarily, that were mistakes that we made that cost us a real opportunity to be playing for the game at the end. You know, we had a couple snap issues with the quarterback and center that were drive killers for us, and we had 2 touchdowns taken off the board on penalties that were behind the ball that we were going to score on it, whether those occurred or not, and they were real penalties. But those are some things that we just got to get cleaned up. But I was very pleased with, first of all, our guys going out. We had a very specific game plan against them. Our guys understanding the game plan, believing the game plan, and going out and by and large executing that game plan. The belief in each other that we're down 17-0. Going into halftime, and there was no batting of eyes. Everybody was, hey, you know, we've got some things we got to get corrected. We're going to, and we're going to come back, and we're going to make this a 4-quarter ball game. So I was very encouraged to see some of those things occur. I think that we went out and did a lot of good things. We've got to execute better, but we did a lot of good things to show improvement in this program.
320 yards of passing by Tim Boyle, sacked only once, 7 of the catches by Ryan Marcouche for over 100 yards. And so the passing game was good. It worked. You were able to get downfield. Now the rushing game, meanwhile, I want to talk about both of them, 25 yards on the rushing attack. You weren't able to get that established as much.
No, we had some trouble rushing the football, and that was not surprising. They had the number 2 rush defense in the country last year. They were very, very stout against the run. So we were well aware that that was going to be difficult for us. We talked about that as a team. I think we even talked about it here last week. They're very, very good against the run. They're stout. They're physical. They'll put more people in the box than you can block. So that was difficult. Was really pleased to see our throwing game. The thing that I was most pleased with was how Tim managed the game. He didn't take chances with the ball very often. If things weren't there, he got to his check downs. And that's what we're looking for from the quarterback, is when the opportunities to take a shot down the field are there, we're going to take it. But when they're not, we're going to be efficient with the football. We want high completion percentage. And what we talk about managing the game, and a lot of times people think that doesn't turn into big numbers. I think it was a great example of he managed the game really well and how we want it to be managed. And he put up 320 yards throwing. And so managing the game, it doesn't mean that you can't put up big numbers. It just means that you got to take what's given. And he did a really nice job of that. Saw some really nice plays out of Ryan. He did a great job. Nico did a really nice job. So that was a good thing to see. It was good to see us be efficient in the passing game when we were having trouble running the football because of how stout they are and how many people they put in the box.
All over your roster, I saw true freshmen, redshirt freshmen, sophomores contributing, major contributors, and guys that will have an upside. So this is a young team in many spots, but a team that seems like it's really built for the future, and it's going to be fun to watch them mature this year.
Sure, yeah, we are an inexperienced team. We've got a lot of fresh faces, close to 120 guys on the roster, and over half of them are people that weren't with us last fall. So whether that's inexperienced because they're young or they're new to the program because they transferred in, we've got a lot of fresh faces. I was encouraged to see how we played well together. I thought we played well together as a team. To see with a lot of new faces how there was a lot of belief within the locker room before the game, belief in the locker room at halftime, which are 2 major things that can go awry if you have a lot of new people in the program. So you want to see your young guys play like veterans, and we didn't see a whole bunch of critical errors by young guys. That was good.
Up next is Kentucky, a noon start over in Lexington on Saturday, a team that beat Southern Miss on the road by 7 to open the season, a bowl team last year. They didn't have a great offensive game in game one, but their defense is stout. They had a really solid special teams effort. So Kentucky did have it rolling offensively late last year, and I know they're dangerous.
Yeah, Kentucky's a complete team. Really in all three phases, I think they're a very good football team. Everybody seems to think that this is probably going to be the best Kentucky team in the last 20, 25 years or in contention for that. It starts off, you look at their defense, and I know that's Coach Stoops' expertise. They are really good on defense, and they're very stout. I mean, really stout, tough to run the football against. They put a lot of guys in the box with their bear defense. They're really good on the perimeter. They're long at corner. They can run. So they present a lot of problems. Schematically, they present a lot of problems with their personnel. They're really good personnel-wise. I think Matt House does a really nice job of mixing things up between their bear and pressure and getting into some even stuff on third down. So I think that they're very difficult on defense to prepare for. Their offense, you look at their personnel and they're really good. I think it starts with the quarterback. He's a dual threat guy. He's a guy that's very capable of throwing the ball down the field. You saw that a bunch last year. Shots down the field, very effective with that. He can run around and make things happen with his legs, which is always difficult to defend. Their running back, they lost their starter, but their backup went for over 1,000 yards and 13 touchdowns, and I don't even think he played in the first two games and put up those big numbers. And he's really, really good, as is number 22, his backup. I think that they've got two really good backs in there that are dynamic. Outside on the receiver core, they've got two big receivers that are matchup issues. When you're as big as they are out there on the perimeter, that's tough because you don't often have 6'3", 6'4" corners to match up with those guys. And then they've got a dynamic guy in the slot. Their tight end, I remember him from recruiting. He's a really good player. He had big numbers last week. He's a primary target for them. Then up front, they're big and they're physical. They're earth movers. They can move some people around. So I think they're really good on offense and have capability of being explosive. They're sound on special teams. I look at them very similar to us in that in probably three of their units, they're kind of, we do what we do and we do it well. And then they're a little bit elaborate on punt, as I expected them to be. But they present some problems with some of their formation stuff and punt. But they're very sound and they're very good. Their kick returner had a big one last week. I think they're explosive in that area. So we got our hands full. But I think we got a good football team, and we are excited for this opportunity, excited for the challenge.
All right, look forward to it, Mark. Good luck at Kentucky on Saturday.
Thanks.
All right, that's Mark Eller. You can keep up with Colonel football. We'll have the call of UK EKU at 100.7 FM, also online at EKUsports.com, or you can use the TuneIn app on your phone. It'll also be on the SEC network. Well, a great game day atmosphere added to with a new RV lot from the first home game and throughout the season. We'll talk with ticket manager Grant Stepp about that when Inside EKU Sports continues.
Every day is a concept that few people can commit to. Every day requires a level of dedication that forces you to test your limits.
Every day I'll give back to the community because I draw strength from their support. Every day the sounds of your cheers will echo through my mind. Knowing that you have my back means I can always look forward.
Every day I'll be too tired to sweat and my bones will ache. Every day will provide me with the slight edge that I need to succeed. Champions are built every day.
We are more than just athletes. We inspire scholars. We inspire leaders. We inspire champions. We inspire family. This is the Ohio Valley Conference.
Welcome back to Inside EKU Sports. There is a new tailgate section at Eastern Kentucky where you can bring your RVs in and cook your brats and your burgers, and Grant Stepp is the ticket manager and he's here to talk about it with us. You see that it's a big part of the atmosphere of college football. So what's happening at EKU?
It is, and it's exciting. You know, from the first time I stepped foot on campus, one thing I always thought was interesting here in Richmond was the tailgate scene.
Yeah.
There are a lot of folks out there for the first game getting ready. So I thought it was cool this year we partnered with Bluegrass RVs to have an RV section. So we've always had RVs at our tailgate, but now there'll be a section dedicated just for RVs. It'll be in the lower alumni lot. Fans are encouraged to come in, set up the tailgate, as you mentioned, cook food, share it. We want to build a community effect in the RV lot. So, yeah, really looking forward to it.
What time can they bring their RV in? What's the cost of getting a spot? Give me the particulars.
$50 a game. That includes 2 game tickets. That's valued at $26. So really, you're getting a good deal there. For the season, it'll be $200. You get 2 season tickets with that as well. And you have to bring your RV in the Friday before the game. No big deal, set up. That way there's no congestion on game day, and you'll be good to go.
It's awesome. Now, we have a few changes as well as construction continues on campus, the new side of the stadium. I know the student tailgate area will be in a different spot as well.
Correct. It'll be adjacent to the rec center. And this way, we're trying to encourage our students to actually come into the game. So if they have an area to tailgate, and when the cannon goes off for kickoff, students can walk through the new gate, gate 6, right to their student section, right next to the band. That way, we've got a whole environment right next to the rec center. Hopefully, we encourage them to come into the game and it kind of keep going there.
I get to the games very early, and I'm at the top of the press box, 81 feet above the surface, and I never get it. I can smell the hamburgers and hot dogs cooking, and I can see people if I look over the back of the stadium, but I never get to experience that. And we do have a good scene in Eastern Kentucky.
Right. And I'm like you, I'm working prior to the games, but as we're driving through and getting ready for the games, it's always encouraging to see the fans having a good time, pitching cornhole, and fans just kind of getting that opportunity to mingle before the game. We'll also have some adjustments to our Colonel Walk. So as the team comes down, you know, a lot of fans that are in those tailgate areas will get to cheer on the Colonels as they approach the stadium. So looking forward to that.
First home game comes up against Tennessee Tech 2 weeks after Saturday's game against Kentucky. Tickets available. You can buy them at the window or still
always
season
available.
Tickets.
Yes, we encourage you to purchase them in advance. We're offering a family pack this year, so that gets you 4 tickets to every game for $100, and we're really pushing that. A lot of fans are excited about it. So if anyone's interested, they can contact the ticket office at 8443-GO-BIG-E. Or like you said, they can just walk up to the gates and get tickets. They're $13, so pretty inexpensive.
All right, thanks, Grant. Save me a hamburger or 2 from the tailgate area. All right, thanks. That's Grant Stepp. He's the ticket manager at EKU. Again, that RV lot opening for the first home game of the season against Tennessee Tech on September 23rd. Friday, get your RV there before the kickoff on Saturday evening. And on game day, the unveiling of the long-awaited Roy Kidd statue in the north end zone of the stadium. Public viewing will begin at 3 o'clock on game day. We will talk next another kind of football with Nick Flohre, the soccer coach at EKU. But first, we'll see how EKU's Living Learning Communities help students be more connected to their classmates and their coursework.
EKU is the campus beautiful, the school of opportunity, where you are always welcome, and it feels like home. We're changing how we look, but our mission is still the same, to help you expand your knowledge, discover your passion, and unlock your purpose. Be a Colonel. Your time is now.
Hit high and deep.
Back of the end zone. Brown got it.
Flohre drives inside. Put it up. This one swung and missed it.
Now Smith again. Block point Tech.
Nice turnaround by Johnson. Near post. Kicked in.
Any place, anytime. Find it here. The OVC Digital Network.
I joined an LLC because I moved to a completely different area. None of my friends from back home came down to EKU, so I was completely on my own and I didn't know anybody down here. And I figured if I went into an LLC, you know, I would already have a common passion with other people, which would make it easier to make friends. A living learning community is a group of people that have a common passion or have something in common that decide to live together in order to help make connections and make friends and become comfortable with a college life.
You opt into living learning communities. So there's programs that are for the whole hall that your RA might do. But then for living learning community, they throw programs that are specifically for you.
LLCs are important to the experience because it helps garner friendships that might not happen. And it kind of gives you that little extra nudge to go out of your way to kind of get to know somebody. And some of my best friends that I've met here have come from my LLC program.
Aviation specifically puts on events such as touring the UPS facility in Louisville, and we actually even get to go into their flight simulators and actually log some time in there. So for an 18-year-old kid to have 747 time in his logbook is pretty cool. If I hadn't been involved with the Aviation LLC, I probably would have never had that opportunity.
LLCs, they try to hit everything that you will probably go throughout your whole year. They help you with registering for classes. If you're having trouble studying, they give you study tips, and it's a gap for you to ask, like, hey, I need help, and they will try to help you with that.
There's a living learning community for anybody. We have the Aviation LLC, we have the PGM LLC, and we also have the Sign Language LLC. No matter what you like, there's probably something here for you.
My message to incoming freshmen would be definitely do an LLC because it was the best thing I did. It helped me find my friends, and I made a lot of connections with people in different departments to help me later.
Being in an LLC enhances the entire college experience. It really helps to create a sense of community, and it also helps to create a sense of home in your hall.
When I go to Palmer, I know that I got people there that care about me, and I got people that I care about there too, and it does feel like home.
Welcome back to Inside EKU Sports. We talk EKU women's soccer now with head coach Nick Flohre in his second year, off to a 2-2-1 start. You've won your last two games, and they've both been really exciting finishes.
We're getting better. We're not where we want to be, but I think we've shown improvement the past couple games. The girls are excited. They're excited to be back home. We've been on the road for the past 3 weeks, and it's worn on us a little bit, but having the chance to have 5 of the next 6 games at home is something comforting for the girls, and playing a little bit better than we have been to start the season. Even more so, reason to give excitement for the next couple weeks.
Senior forward Jordan Foster had a golden goal in the 108th minute in the win at IUPUI. It was a beautiful goal too.
It was. It's something just with the team we're trying to work on our chemistry up front, and the build up for that was good. And then she was able to get something against Xavier as well. So having those couple goals and the chemistry that's starting to click, it's not where we want it to be, but it's still early in the season for our forwards. It's a work in progress, but it's getting better.
Yeah, Jordan is a first-team all-conference player, had 8 goals last year, already 3 this year. Would you consider her the leader of your team, or in soccer is it different?
She's one of. She's one of. I think our defenders, our goalkeeper, Anna, just from the communication standpoint, they have to organize more people. So not to say Jordan's not, because Jordan's very influential, but yeah, I would say Anna is one of them because she's the one controlling everybody else that's in front of her.
Anna Hall had 11 shutouts last year. She's had 2 so far this year. And what have you asked her to do as far as maturing into an even better player? When you have that many shutouts in a successful year last year, where's the upside for?
Well, that's to challenge players when things aren't to the standard that we're expecting, for her to get on people if she needs to. We set the tone from the sideline, but when the game's going on, the girls have more influence. They have more control to get things done quickly. So if she sees something, we're asking her to basically be a coach on the field. So her understanding of what everybody needs to be doing has to be at a top level, so that she can make corrections and coach people out of situations or into situations before we can stop and get to halftime.
The win last Friday over Xavier came late in the game. Emmy Carroll had the assist, another senior from Ohio, and I know she's a really good setup player at times for
Absolutely. Emmy is the most technical I think we have up front. She reads the game very well, and she's trying to find other people, put them in better situations than she has herself. Just connect people, from midfielders to forwards, and basically be the setup player. So she's done well at it. She knows what she's good at, what she needs to work on. So she plays within herself, but plays within herself to set people up into better situations.
Talking with soccer coach Nick Flohre, you have 8 freshmen on your roster. 3 are getting starting nods. So some youth coming up because you've got a lot of seniors as well.
Yeah, the freshmen, even more so than the sophomore class when they were freshmen, became. Their personality started showing quicker. They seem pretty comfortable with the rest of the girls now. Their talent is starting to shine. The nerves that they had early on this season have gone away. So now you're seeing some very influential players come out on the field. Katie Schaefer is just a rock in the back, and she's pushing people for time. She started every game so far. Alyssa Julian, Sarah Wusu, and then the numbers that we have coming off the bench right now. They're all very talented. Some it's taken a little bit longer to get comfortable, but they're all at a pretty good place right now.
Well, as Nick said, 5 games to start the season on the road. That will all end on Friday when you take on Gardner-Webb, the first of 3 in a row at home. That will end with the Austin Peay game, which is your first OVC game. Yep. So what about the Gardner-Webb game and just the fact of being on your home turf?
That's the most exciting. It's just to get out of a hotel on away games. I think, again, we're playing at a pretty good level right now, and we want to keep that going and do that and, take care of our home field, protect our home field, but keep getting better because we want to be peaking, not at this point. We want to be peaking as the season goes on. So we have some things to keep working on, but Gardner-Webb gives us another chance to work on those kind of things. They're a good team. They've given some big schools a pretty tough game. So it's going to be a challenge for us.
Second year for you as head coach, does it feel different than the first year?
No, I mean, people have asked me that, but I think our expectations are always greater than other people expect of us. So even last year before going in, I mean, we knew we had talent. We just had to get on the same page. Now we're just trying to progress and evolve from what we did last year and keep getting better. So we've had a pretty tough schedule to start, but we're a pretty good place. We're continuing to improve, and that's the main point.
All right, thanks, Nick. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thanks.
Nick Flohre, the head soccer coach at EKU. Again, Gardner-Webb, 4 o'clock on Friday, the first home match. Hope to see you out at the soccer field along the bypass in Richmond. And that does it for another edition of Inside EKU Sports. Don't forget to keep up with EKU Sports wherever you are. Like and follow our channels on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next week, so long, everybody.